Allah, the Merciful, the Beneficent. Now with today's main headlines. Nearly 1 million Palestinians face winter without shelter in Gaza. Myanmar's junta suppresses information on severe food crisis. OpenAI launches ChatGPT search feature for all users. Exploring the growth and diversity of Canada's Muslim population, 2001 to 2021. Peace be upon you, dear viewers. This is Hussein Ali and you are watching Shia Waves live from London only on Imam Hussein TV 3. Nearly 1 million Palestinians in Gaza are at risk this winter as only 23% of shelter needs have been met. With 945,000 people requiring urgent assistance, the situation is dire following Israel's offensive that displaced an additional 100,000 since October. The shelter cluster reported that only 123 trucks of shelter materials entered Gaza between September and November, averaging just 10 trucks weekly. Essential items like tents and sealing-off kits are critically low, with many families forced to flee with minimal belongings. Recent flooding from a winter storm destroyed many makeshift shelters, exacerbating the crisis. The shelter cluster urges donor governments to advocate for the entry of vital materials and safe access for humanitarian workers. Without immediate action, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians face life-threatening conditions as winter approaches, with temperatures dropping as low as 6 degrees Celsius. A Reuters investigation reveals that Myanmar's ruling junta is actively suppressing information about a severe food crisis affecting millions. Aid workers and researchers report being pressured not to collect or publish data indicating widespread hunger. The Integrated Food Security Phase classification recently removed its hunger assessment for Myanmar from its global map, citing safety concerns for researchers. Currently, approximately 14.4 million people in Myanmar face acute food insecurity, with projections suggesting this could rise to 15 million by next summer. The junta's actions have hindered humanitarian efforts, making it difficult for relief organizations to secure funding and distribute aid. Reports indicate that the military has blocked food supplies in conflict zones, exacerbating the crisis. The environment of fear has led to clandestine data collection, with many aid workers fearing retribution for speaking out. The situation highlights the dire humanitarian needs in Myanmar, where the military's actions have significantly worsened the food crisis since the 2021 coup. OpenAI has announced that its ChatGPT-powered internet search feature is now available to all users, intensifying competition with Google. Previously accessible only to paying subscribers, this upgrade allows users to receive fast, timely answers along with links to relevant web sources, providing information that's traditionally required a search engine. The integration of search capabilities into ChatGPT enhances its functionality, enabling real-time information retrieval from across the web. OpenAI's Chief Product Officer, Kevin Whale, highlighted the feature will be available globally on all platforms where ChatGPT is used. Demonstrations of the new interface showed results resembling those of Google and Google Maps, but without advertisements. Adam Fry, the product's lead for ChatGPT Search, emphasized that this enhancement improves the ChatGPT experience by providing up-to-date information. The launch raises questions about OpenAI's relationship with Microsoft, a significant investor that is also expanding its Bing search engine. As OpenAI aims to establish itself as an internet powerhouse, the addition of search capabilities is expected to increase its computing needs and costs significantly. Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. Nearly 1 million Palestinians face winter without shelter in Gaza. Myanmar's junta suppresses information on severe food crisis. OpenAI launches ChatGPT search feature for all users. Also tonight, mass grave in Syria allegedly holds 100,000 victims. Canada has witnessed a remarkable transformation in its demographic landscape over the last 2 decades, particularly regarding its Muslim population. More details in the following report.
According to the latest data from Statistics Canada, the proportion of Muslims in the Canadian population more than doubled from 2.0% in 2001 to 4.9% in 2021. This growth highlights not only an increase in numbers but also a diversification of cultures, languages and age demographics within Canadian society. As of 2021, the Muslim population in Canada was relatively young, with a median age of 30 years compared to the national median age of 41. The younger demographic is particularly pronounced within age groups, with 65.4% of Canadian Muslims aged between 0 and 64 years, suggesting a vibrant and dynamic community that could contribute significantly to Canada's social and economic fabric in the coming decades. The largest racialised subgroup within the Muslim population is South Asian, reflecting the substantial immigration patterns from countries such as Pakistan, Bangladesh and India. In fact, the top countries of birth for Muslims residing in Canada include Pakistan, Iran, Morocco, Algeria, Bangladesh, Syria, Afghanistan, India and Lebanon. In terms of the linguistic diversity, the 2021 data reveals a rich tapestry of languages spoken within the Muslim community. The most common languages spoken at home include English, Arabic, French, Urdu and Persian, among others. This variety showcases the multicultural influences that exist within Canada's Muslim population, contributing to the broader mosaic of Canadian society. The distribution of the Muslim population across Canada varies significantly by province. Ontario is home to the largest number of Muslims, followed by Quebec and British Columbia. Specifically, Ontario holds approximately 579,640 Muslims, representing 6.7% of the provinces. In contrast, provinces like Newfoundland and Labrador and Prince Edward Island have notably smaller Muslim communities, indicating regional diversity and population concentrations. This is Ayub Nouinou Shia Waves.
And now we continue with some short news. The United Nations Children's Fund reported that the war in Yemen has caused damage to 2,426 schools, with some destroyed. In a statement issued on Sunday, UNICEF highlighted that the profound impact of the conflicts and the collapse of Yemen's education system on the learning environment for children. The organization noted that children bear the brunt of limited educational opportunities and the destruction of school facilities caused by years of conflict. According to UNICEF, 4 school-aged children in Yemen is not attending school. Those who do face poorly equipped facilities and overburdened teachers who often go unpaid. The war, which escalated in late March 2015, has rendered many schools inoperable and caused significant harm to educational infrastructure. It has also led to casualties among students, further exacerbating the crisis. Amnesty International has reported that a vulnerability in Apple's HomeKit was exploited to target iPhones belonging to Serbian journalists and activists. Following notifications from Apple about potential compromises by Pegasus spyware, the organization conducted an investigation that confirmed the attacks. The NSO Group's Pegasus spyware is known for its zero-click exploits, enabling hacking without user interaction, such as merely receiving a specific iMessage. Amnesty found that 2 victims were targeted within minutes from different iCloud accounts linked to the spyware. Further forensic analysis revealed similar attack patterns in India, where other individuals also received alerts from Apple regarding state-sponsored attacks. While Apple has begun scanning for signs of Pegasus and notifying users, details about the HomeKit vulnerability remain undisclosed as the company works to address the issue. Android devices were also affected, and surveillance software was reportedly installed on victims' locked phones after they sought police assistance. Pakistani authorities have announced the closure of all public and private schools and colleges in Islamabad and Punjab province on December 16th, citing security concerns. According to the source, the decision was made in light of the current security situation. On December 15th, it was reported that this directive was issued by security and education officials in several Punjab cities, including Lahore, Rawalpindi and Islamabad. While specific reasons for the closures in Islamabad and Lahore were not disclosed, the Commissioner of Rawalpindi indicated that schools in the area would close to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the 2014 Army Public School attack in Peshawar, where 147 people, mostly children, were killed by militants. Educational and security officials are apprehensive about the potential for similar attacks on this significant anniversary. The school closures are viewed as a precautionary measure to mitigate any threats and ensure the safety of students and educational institutions during this sensitive period. The installation of a new dome at Tel Zainab in the holy city of Karbala has been completed. This dome, situated adjacent to the revered shrine of Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, has recently been finalized. The project aims to protect the historical and religious sites in Karbala while enhancing the spiritual atmosphere of the area. The decision to award the 2034 World Cup to Saudi Arabia has raised significant concerns regarding the treatment of migrant workers. Millions are expected to be employed in constructing stadiums, transport networks and hotels. Reports indicate that many workers face dire conditions, including exploitation, unpaid wages, and unsafe living environments. From 2008 to 2022, over 13,000 Bangladeshi workers reportedly died in Saudi Arabia, with a high number of unexplained fatalities. Human rights organizations warn that the upcoming World Cup could exacerbate these issues, predicting increased exploitation and potential fatalities among migrant laborers. Despite Saudi Arabia's assurances of improved worker protections as part of the World Cup bid, testimonies from deported workers reveal systemic abuse, including false contracts and substantial recruitment debts. The country's reliance on cheap labor from nations like Bangladesh, India and Nepal remains a critical factor in the World Cup preparations, raising ethical concerns about the human cost of such mega events. News reports have revealed that a mass grave discovered near Damascus, reportedly containing 100,000 victims of Assad's regime, amid conflict and violence in the country. More details in the following report.
A Syrian advocacy leader has alleged that a mass grave near Damascus contains the remains of at least 100,000 people killed under the former government of ousted President Bashar al-Assad. Muaz Mustafa, head of the US-based Syrian Emergency Task Force, revealed that the site's existence at Al-Qutayfa, 40 kilometers north of Damascus, in an interview with Reuters. Mustafa described the figure as a very conservative estimate and claimed that the site is one of 5 mass graves his group identified over the years. The mass grave allegedly holds the bodies of Syrians alongside foreign victims, including US and British citizens. According to Mustafa, Assad's intelligence services were responsible for transferring bodies from military hospitals where detainees reportedly died under torture to burial sites. Bulldozer drivers and municipal workers, some of whom later escaped Syria, detailed how bodies were compacted into graves before being buried. Bashar al-Assad, who fled to Russia as rebels seized control of the country, has consistently denied the allegations of human rights abuses, dismissing critics as extremists. The discovery highlights the human cost of Syria's conflict, which began in 2011 with a brutal crackdown on protests that escalated into civil war. Hundreds of thousands are believed to have been killed over Assad's decades-long rule. Meanwhile, the country remains in turmoil. The UN Independent Commission of Inquiry on Syria has called for urgent protection of civilians amid worsening violence. Elsewhere, violence persists. Israeli forces have advanced beyond their disengagement zone in the Golan Heights and launched hundreds of airstrikes. The Muslim World League has condemned the Israeli government's decision to double the population of the annexed Global Heights, Arab News reported today. In a statement, the MWL urged the international community to take action against what is described as ongoing Israeli violence that undermine the prospects for security and stability of the Syrian people.
We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our viewers of the main headlines. Nearly 1 million Palestinians face winter without shelter in Gaza. Myanmar's junta suppresses information on severe food crisis. OpenAI launches ChatGPT search feature for all users. Exploring the growth and diversity of Canada's Muslim population, 2001 to 2021. Mass grave in Syria allegedly holds 100,000 victims. You can view the latest news on our Shia Waves website, or you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us on the numbers at the bottom of your screen. Thank you all for watching. We pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In the heart of London, Imam Hussein Media Group is on the brink of an extraordinary transformation. We are securing a new home, a sanctuary named after the Queen of Karbala, Lady Zainab.